So the Chicago Bears just made this really sneaky good move. And this Bears team is getting revamped from the top to bottom. We're witnessing it. And the emphasis right now is on the coordinators, right? But the Bears are digging deeper and I want to dig into it. So, what I want to talk about is a position on staff that hasn't really been covered, the team's mental performance and leadership coordinator. This is an innovative position at Hallis Hall. And I think it further shows a commitment that this team has shown to modernize and also run just a detailed and tight ship. And to fill this unusual spot on staff is a decorated Army veteran, retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Andy Reese. He was a field artillery officer in the Army, a winner of 2 Bronze Stars while serving in Iraq and Afghanistan. And he was also in the Special Forces. So thank you for your service, Andy Reese. And this is a very nice addition to the staff. He started in psychology, and this was to help prevent soldier suicides. And his career really took off after that, from the corporate world to now the world of pro sports. So we're kind of looking at his background a little more. He worked for the U.S. Army for 24 years, previously worked as a mental performance coach in Major League Baseball, and he was with the Seattle Mariners, Colorado Rockies, and the Cincinnati Reds. Now with him, clinicians on staff as well, providing traditional mental health therapy beyond sports performance. Those are brought along with him. So now Reese, he gave us a look into what he does here for the Bears. I'm going to go to this story on SI. Reese was a guest on Fox Sports Insider Jay Glazer's podcast, Unbreakable. And this is where he talked about this. And this is the direct quote from Andy. I don't do counseling or therapy that you traditionally think of. I'm more like a strength coach for the brain. My job is to help athletes perform better, and when they incur challenges on and off the field, to be able to bounce back well. So guys, this emphasis, this is also in line with yesterday's video covering Al Harris sending Tyreek Stevenson. He sent him to Pete Houlihan's performance program, and this was to develop him past the mistakes with the failed Mary, the nonsense that we saw him partake in, but also just to improve him as an athlete and as a ball hawk, and he's getting right after it. And we also fired our chief analytics officer. We're revamping that department as well. Just cleaning house of the nonsense and getting to the details here. We should be absolutely loving this as observers. I know I am. So this is about having someone to coach not only the Bears players, but all employees. Yes, coaches too. And to coach them on the mental side of this game, leveraging the best out of everyone. And I think this is vitally important. So glad they're prioritizing this part of their staff, because this has been, it's been a severely lacking element. We've witnessed poor discipline, sloppy play for this franchise on the field, from coaching to players alike. And now during Ben Johnson's initial interview, he believed that the Bears, who finished the season 5-12, don't remind me, he's saying that they were a sleeping giant in his opinion coming into the season. This is directly from Ben. Now, there's a number of reasons why that did not unfold, which is why I'm here. I'll get to the bottom of that, and we'll see if we can't get that corrected and cleaned up. But it was very encouraging with what was already on the roster right here. So we're talking about changing this culture, right? It requires not only physical training, but the 6 inches between the ears too, right? A huge part of moving past and almost acceptance of losing, in my opinion, to changing it to an expectation of winning. So now we can look at offensive numbers here. The inefficiency, this is all of our offensive ranks from last year. Yards per game, 283, that ranked 32nd. Points per game, 18, that's tied for 29th. Passing yards per game, I'm not going to go into the numbers, just the rank. Passing yards per game, 31st. Rushing yards per game, 25th. Third down percentage, 31st. Fourth down percentage, 13th. Red zone percentage, 8th. I mean, just terrible, right? We're looking at 32nd and 29th in yards per game and points per game, 31st and 25th in passing and rushing yards per game. Third down percentage is just absolutely awful. And if you think about it, this was influenced by a ton of things, but what does it really mean? And it's influenced by coaching, yeah, but it was a poorly disciplined team and also a poorly disciplined coaching staff. Just look at Coach Eberflus. And to me, the biggest indicator to this, the inconsistency of the inconsistent nature of the 2024 Bears offense, that meant 68 penalties. And that's the most the Bears have had since at least 2000. They are tied for the third most false starts in the whole league, fifth most illegal formation penalties, fourth most illegal shifts. I mean, watching them, the eye test, right? How many games were we on a key third down and there's a shift or a false start penalty? I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Reese can definitely be a part of fixing. And we're a franchise here, we're fans. We've been traumatized a bit. And then, I mean, not to be flippant, I never want to put this up against what Andy Reese has worked people through, what he's experienced himself. But I just kind of want to show how his experience could be very applicable for this team. High pressure situations, moving from serving those with those who have had their lives, the lives of others and their own in their hands every single day, helping develop mental awareness and steadfastness to get to like navigate through that, and teaching people how to cope, how to perform at their top level when everything's at stake, and applying that to pro athletes who have their livelihoods at stake instead of life and death. I mean, it's very applicable here. Like, let's give some examples in our past. Let's dig some stuff up, right? Can you say Rogers to Cobb, the double doink, this year, the fail Mary? I mean, all the nonsense and mental mistakes from the coaching staff and players we just sat through for 17 games. We need to consistently thank him for his service. Thank you for your service, Andy, to our country. That makes football look silly in comparison. But also, really welcome him into the staff, celebrate the elevation of this position. He's been here since February of 2024, by the way. And the Chicago Tribune reported that when Caleb Williams made his pre-draft visit to Hallis Hall, Poles had the young quarterback meet with Reese as part of the itinerary. And now this position is becoming even more prominent within this organization. And even the show of being serious about this area of the team is refreshing. How Al Harris is already helping Stevenson become his best at essentially football player boot camp. And he did it 24 hours after taking the job. He's there to make him the best that he can be. And I'm also just really encouraged by who this team is hiring, where they're moving toward, what they're emphasizing so far. It's looking like just a really nice trajectory in some areas that we haven't really pushed into before. It gives me full faith that this team is actually modernizing. This team is going with new, innovative, fresh faces, like kind of whiz kids, like our new offensive coordinator, guys that are in demand at the beginning of their career, guys that are rising instead of just going with stale retread coaches. We've done that. We've done that. We've done that. I really love what's happening with this team. I can't wait for the personnel to start getting changed. Guys coming in, some guys are going to get cut. Really looking forward to how this roster is going to shape up, and really looking forward to spending more time with you guys. You guys bear down. Let me know what you think about this hire and what it says, and we will talk soon. We talk on the daily. See ya.